morning. It's Monday, September the 7th, and we're going to be discussing the Psalms 51 passage today from our one-year reading. And I wanted to read Psalms 51, 1 through 4. And this is after David has committed his sin with Bathsheba. And he says, "Have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee, thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight." I just love this portion of scripture. This morning when I was studying it, the word wash right there literally means like the fuller's process. And I was thinking, what is the fuller's process? And so the fuller's process is when a fuller would actually have the wool from a sheep. And you can see with this wool here, we're going to call this wool, that it was very porous. There were lots of holes in it where dirt and grime, air, everything could get through it. And it was very greasy and dirty. And so when the wool came off, it was porous, dirty, greasy. It wasn't dense and fit together. And so what they would do with this piece of wool is they would actually take ammonia. And how they got the ammonia back in the day is it was collected stale urine. And they would literally, the fuller himself, would take the ammonia and he would pour it in the bucket. And the stench of it, it would stink so bad. It would just, and I'm thinking, this is what David's asking the Lord to literally do, is to do this process on him. And so as all the ammonia was poured in there, they would take the wool piece and they would put it in to the ammonia. They would take their shoes off, and the fuller would step into the ammonia. My feet are kind of dirty. And as they would step into the ammonia, they would take this wool and they would begin trampling it. And this is what the process was. They would trample the wool with their feet. And it literally says the faster they would trample like a dance, the cleaner it would get and the faster the process would be. So this ammonia would be taking out all the grease and the grime and the dirt and the filth. But this piece of wool is getting trampled underfoot. It's getting into a process that is not comfortable and that's not easy and that doesn't feel good. But when the process was finished, it could take anywhere from 2 to 7 hours, depending on how fast the trampling went. But the result of it was, when it came out, that this process, the beating of the feet and the ammonia would now have a piece of wool that was actually dense, like all the holes had been filled. There was now no room for air or dirt or grime to get in, and it was literally changed. This piece of cloth, this garment was literally changed, even though it was the same thing. It was still wool, but because of the trampling process, because of the fuller's process, it became a different garment that was used for clothing. It would be strong, it would be pliable, it was easy to make into whatever you wanted it to be made now. And so this thing that David's asking, he's saying, Lord, take me through the fuller's process. You be the fuller. You trample me under your feet to change me, to get rid, to purge, to cleanse me from my sin, my transgressions, my iniquities. I want to be pure and holy and spotless. And I know it's your loving kindness and your mercy that performs this process. It's not out of your anger, but it's literally you wanting to change me into something usable, pliable, and to be given out to others. So y'all, when we're going through this fuller's process, let's first acknowledge our sin, our iniquities, our transgressions, those things that have a hold on us. Let's turn to God and say, God, wash me. Take me through the fuller's process, because it's your mercy and grace that's going to bring me out cleaner and whiter than snow. Y'all have a great day.